Okay. All righty. So here, take two. So yes, unfortunately, I was told by another team player that the go live I was doing from my office isn't working correctly. So here I am, take two, doing it from my phone in my kitchen. So yes, now you're going to see the sun back in my face. So if you don't know me again, my name is Gloria Savanto. I am out here in Ceiba Beach, Alberta, Canada, and I help women in the online space learn how to use social media strategies and take their business online authentically, learning how to build their brand and how to be a little bit more confident moving forward in the online space. So yes, if you just joining me, or if you're catching me on the replay, just let me know in the comments, and I'll give you a shout out in a bit. So yes, this is take two, so I'm going to try to reiterate what I was talking about prior. So how we do anything is how we do everything. So moving forward, like I said, this take two, so I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier. When you go to bed at night, what are you taking in your head? What kind of worries, what kind of anxiety, and what kind of stress are you taking to bed in your head that you have not dealt with the day before? And you wake up the next morning with the same worries and the same anxieties moving forward. So how you do anything is how you're going to do everything. And this is what I'm going to get into the content about this. So if you don't know me, my name is Gloria Savanto. I am out of Ceiba Beach in Alberta, Canada. I might have said that already, but like I said, trying to remember what I was talking about earlier. So how we do anything. So how do you do anything in life? I know a bunch of people who are flitting through life and they're just, okay, they're taking it one day at a time. They're taking it maybe one payroll at a time. And maybe they're just moving forward thinking, you know what, I just can't make a move. I can't do anything. I'm all tied in everything. So when I get home at night, I sit in front of the TV and I worry. And this is how my life is. Okay. So then when you wake up the next morning and your feet hit the ground, your feet is hitting the ground with the same content from the day before, and you're carrying it over into the next day. Is that progress? How many people think that that's going to be progress moving forward? In my opinion, that is not progress moving forward. In my opinion, what this is doing is it's causing a chain reaction. It's where you're on this hamster wheel and you just can't figure out how to get off this wheel of life, and maybe it's spinning out of control just because of the situation that we're in. Organizations are going back into lockdown again, unfortunately, and we're moving into the Christmas season. This is causing a lot of grief and anxiety for some individuals. If you remember the go lives I was doing last week, I talked about choosing your opponents. Right now, in the comments, I want somebody to let me know what their biggest opponent is moving into November, December. The biggest opponent you have moving into November, December. And if you remembered from a prior go live, I was talking about you're going to categorize your opponents. So that's going to be your family, your relationships, your education or employment. What is your downtime and what are your time wasters? Well, right now, the biggest opponent I have for me moving forward is, here's an update on the engine of the truck. I was able to get the price from $65,000 down to $42,000. That's a savings of $23,000. So let's see moving forward over the weekend into next week if we can finally come up with a solid price moving forward. Then I move into how we're going to finance this, and then what are going to be my exit strategy moving forward. This is leaving me with options and opportunities where I need to think, okay, if we're not going to take a paycheck until the first week of February, how am I going to be able to make the ends meet until all this happens? So right now, that's a big opponent. But do I go to bed and worry about that? No, I don't. I don't worry about it at all. Because when you talk about the opponent and when you talk about your employment, there's not a lot you can do because, you know, unless you're willing to change, nothing changes. So when nothing changes, then you're stuck. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to figure out what needs to be done in order to make this less painful. How many people understand that? When you take a bad situation like that and you figure out how to make this less painful, this is when we start to see some growth. This is when we start to get out of our comfort zones. And this is where we really start to solidify moving forward. How we do anything is how we do everything. Negotiation skills are big. Learning to listen to the conversation or read the email in its entirety. It's going to give you the trigger words and the trigger opportunities for you to dig deeper and go deep dive into figuring out how to get something done. So when I was talking about this last week, when we first got hit with you need a new engine, I gave my worry 2 days. And for me, that's already 1 day too many. And why would people think that 2 days is too many? Because that's an opponent that is not going to go away. But I only gave it so much time to think about it before I jumped into action. I had to jump into action. So how you do everything is how you do everything. You've got to be an action taker. You need to be proactive. And you need to figure out, what can I do to move forward, whether it's going to be comfortable, uncomfortable, or do I rearrange my budget, or do I figure out what's going on in order for me to see the results 6 months or a year from now? This is very detrimental. So if you're in a business, like you understand the tangible business, because when I say I'm an owner operator of a truck, I'm the operator, Danny's the driver. I deal with all the administration end of it. So that is a tangible thing. We can all relate to that. But when you come and work in the online space, all of a sudden it seems like it's not tangible. People don't get it. People are doing, they're missing things, and they're not getting informed. They're not wanting to look at what you have to offer, because it just seems like they want to just deal with time wasters, and that's your TV. Maybe you do like to sit, at home and drink, or maybe you've got other busy work that's not productive. I'm productive every day. So the day before, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing the next day. When I go to bed at night, I shut this off. This gets shut off. It's like anything else. You turn a light switch off, you turn your water off, and you just shut it off. And you learn to build up your emotional quotient to dealing with stuff moving forward. When I wake up in the morning, my feet hit the ground, I've already got a smile on my face, because I've said 3 things that I was grateful for from the day before. I already know what my battle plan is going to be for today. And yes, we call it a battle plan, but it could just be a dream or a goal. I'm reaching out to a couple of other ladies today who are stuck, and I mean literally stuck in their opportunity, and yet they're spending way too much on advertising. Way too much. So let's backpedal that. Let's figure out, okay, where can we figure out how you can make it something on the side in order to afford your advertising? If you're in that space and you're doing online ads for Facebook, guess what? You're moving into one of the most competitive seasons of the year. Building organically, it's going to be almost impossible to do as well, because of the reality is that you're going to be faced with all the bombardments of advertising dealing with Good Friday and then going into Christmas. You cannot match these organizations' budgets. So you're not going to advertise, because if you do try, you might get some leads and you might get people opting into your opportunity. But I'll tell you something. It's going to be few and far between for your link clicks versus your reach versus who actually is going to bite the bullet. And they're going to be like, okay, I'm interested. I want to look. I want to have a see. And to pay for the opt-in price for them, for some people, without getting something back from that, is going to be really tough this year moving forward, because of the reality that people don't have that extra fund to put out just to watch. Imagine that. People are paying good money just to watch. People are getting away from that. There are some people who are still in that space, they're still watching, but they've already paid. Very, very few moving forward are actually going to pull out that credit card and say, okay, I believe enough. I want to see what you're doing. I have an opportunity where there is no obligation. Leave when you want, but look and see everything that we're doing online and find out, you know what? This is really interesting. However, look at it from my point of view. If you feel better, if you can think better, if you can follow some coaches and mentors online, and what they're doing for you is free until you decide this is what you want to do, it's free. It's free. And yet people would rather watch This Is Us. I know I've seen a lot of posts, people looking, oh my God, I missed it. Where can I just replay? This is a television program. TV is a big mind waster. It is absolutely unbelievable. I'm guilty. I was a faithful watcher of the soap operas for years. And if I could be home in time to catch that soap, I would. Not a lot of times I was, because I was working one full-time job and two part-time jobs. Imagine that. I had the energy to do that back in the day. As we get older, we know that that energy starts to fall. We also know that moving forward, we don't feel well. Our body is starting to feel the aches and pains of what I like to call as ageism. You're not going to be able to think clear until you can get this figured out. So if you're feeling better, if you're thinking better, you got a coach and a mentor who is being very optimistic about the future. We're encouraging. We're all cut from the same cloth. And what do I mean by that? Our personalities are different. Our brand is different. Who we reach out to is different. But all coming together with the same end game, and that is to make our lives better, because there's not going to be much available moving forward. Businesses are tanking. A lot of people are starting to notice that. How long is it going to be before you're going to hit that chopping block? How long? Also, I'm hearing rumblings of the owners and the employees that work for organizations in my community that they're doing this job share thing, where you go in for a 2-week period. You might do 3 days in the office, 2 days from home. Flip over, next 2 weeks, you're doing 2 days in the office, 3 days at home. These people are not taking full advantage of their home office. If you're already working in your office, guess what? You can allot 1 hour a day to what I do to learn what I'm doing in order to create a little bit. I'm not talking the big money here, people. I'm not talking huge money. I'm talking about the difference between eating or not, or having the hydro on, or paying your electrical bill, maybe even the car payment. That's going to be a big difference in the long run. It is a big difference. So how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're lazy in your life, you have no energy, you have no motivation, you have no mentor, you have no coach, moving forward, if you're going to stay stuck inside yourself, that's where you're going to remain. So if we can learn to just move ourselves aside, and I like to always say, put the ego aside, because you cannot eat pride, and learn how to do what I'm doing. And in 6 months from now, you'll think, okay, we can have a better Christmas next year. We can maybe take a little weekend trip where we couldn't afford it before. We just couldn't afford it. And now we can finally do this. And guess what? And you're going to feel better in the long run as well, because of the system I'm taking. It is working amazing for some people. It is absolutely working phenomenal. Okay. If you're already in the online space, if you're already a network marketer, and you're trying to figure out, okay, well then I want to learn how to take my opportunity online properly without being a spammy Tammy or whichever, I also belong to that organization. And I'm not going to mention these names here. A person needs to absolutely reach out to me and ask me. Start the conversation. Open it up. Because if you're in this space, you need to learn how to actually speak to strangers. And again, when we were children, going to kindergarten, grade 1, we didn't have a problem running up to somebody, a little kid, and becoming their friend. We didn't have a problem with that. And yet as adults, we seem to have this big wall up where we don't want to actually talk to people. I'm home all the time. I'm alone here. Guess what? I'm always talking to people because it's just nice to talk to a human being instead of a couple of the dogs that I have here. I think, I mean, this is where I'm an introvert in some ways, but I'm also very extroverted, because I can start up a conversation with anybody about any topic, any time of day. Yeah, that's just the way I roll. So it's just a matter of us remembering where we came from, remembering why we got into the businesses or whichever we're doing, and maybe, why did I follow this page in the first place? Let's remember that some of the ladies who put their hand up once, they liked my likes campaign, they put up their hand again, and they were like, okay, well, I like what she stands for, I like what she sees, and yet now it's almost like, okay, you've you've gone over the first 2 steps, let's just take it one step further and just send me a messenger chat. Let's just send me a messenger chat and let's just see if what I'm doing is going to be right, it's going to be a right fit for you. Maybe it's not, but it just might be. So I have a comment here. Let's see. Such a truth of alive, Gloria. Yes, we need to step up and step out. And the system I am on, and in January, I will see the new year in a better life. Better late. Well, absolutely, Cindy. You know, absolutely. It's true for everybody. Yes, but sometimes your furry friends listen much better. Well, isn't it because I've got little treats for them? I mean, I got little treats for them. Of course they're going to listen. They're just amazing. All I'm trying to reiterate here is how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're going to go and start looking to, okay, Cindy, this is no detriment to you because I'm guilty of it as well. I need to sweep my floor. I need to do a load of laundry today. I did the groceries yesterday. I need to dust. But is that not necessarily just busy work just to avoid, getting online, actually reach out to somebody and just, you know what? I noticed that we're friends on Facebook, but I haven't formally introduced myself. I am Gloria. I live up here in Canada. And, I used to drive truck and I would just open up the conversation. Just take it back to see through the eyes of a child and just start out the conversation that way. It's really, really not that terrifying. I mean, it really isn't. And you have 3 or 4 conversations with the individual. And then all of a sudden, you know what you're going to start seeing? All of a sudden, they're going to start liking or loving or caring on your post more. Now they're going to be like, okay, I'm really curious because she reached out to me. What's going on? On my personal profile, I don't talk about the business. I don't talk about any of the businesses. But I will tell you something. I have done on my personal profile my progress. Absolutely. I've done my progress from when I started to basically where I'm at now. So 54 going on 55, I'm hopping. I am absolutely hopping. I'm full of energy. I'm sleeping better. I'm not eating like a rabbit. I eat what I want. I eat twice a day. I just had a shake and I'll probably have maybe a sandwich for lunch and maybe I'll have a nice dinner tonight. I have no idea. I don't plan my life around else. I don't. I basically eat for survival. And if I've got something that I can pull out and I can thaw out, perfect. I'm putting my days around my daily method of operation first. Everything else comes second. Everything is going to be secondary. So I have an appointment at my time, 11:30, which is in 15 minutes, to talk to a new lady who recently joined me this week. I'm going to be having a little chat with her online in 15 minutes. I have another call coming in up 7 o'clock tonight. These are what I'm going to be working around. These are also going to give me the time to prepare and get notes ready, get PDFs ready, and be able to send out what these individuals are looking for. So daily method of operation has to be, you've got to write it down the night before, and then you have to execute it the following day. Nothing else can get in the way of that. It doesn't matter what it is, because if you cannot look after yourself and your little opportunity and stuff moving forward, I've said it before, if you're going to treat it casually, you will become a casualty of the industry. And it's not that bad to take care of a couple of things first thing in the morning, and then you own the rest of the day. If you book appointments for the following day or for that afternoon or that evening, you better be on the ball, and you better make sure that you follow through. So yes, I don't have a lot of actions here. I don't have everything going on. Is my house clean? No. No, my house isn't clean. I mean, I did a bit of spring cleaning in the spring, went hopping into gardening season, and I've been kind of trying to catch up ever since, but I've got plants everywhere. I've got things to look after, but that is not on my DMO. That to me is a time waster. I will take care of all my business and business related activities before I even look into moving into that area. So you ladies, go into this weekend and let's think about just a couple of things. You can either worry about a temporary solution to a long-term problem, or you can actually reach out to me and say, okay, I want a long-term solution to a problem that's going to affect everybody moving forward. Just change your thinking. Change your thinking around that and understand that it's not going to get any better. We're being aged out of work. I know I was aged out just from doing a social media page because they wanted somebody 30 and under. I'm already seeing the effects of being, okay, well, you're too old to do this job. Even though I'm physically built like a workhorse and I can outwork any 20 or 30-year-old kid, it's because of my age. They're worried about WCB. They're worried about me hurting myself. They're working about illness. So what can we do? What can we do? Because I will not settle. I will not settle for minimum wage. I will not settle for somebody who's going to dictate to me when and how I do anything. I won't do that. I have been in the online space and an owner operator for over 16 years. I know what it's like to run a business. I know what it's like to have good days, and I know what it's like to have bad days. But it's how you do anything is how you do everything. It's change your mind, change your life, get out of your way, read what you need to read, look for the trigger phrase, the trigger phrases or the trigger words, and use that to your advantage. So again, if you ladies don't know me, my name is Gloria Sabanto. I'm here out of Alberta, Canada. And yes, I got to get ready for this next call coming up at 11:30. You guys have an awesome weekend. You'll probably see me tomorrow, maybe Sunday, but I'm going to be trying to do go lives every day, if not every second day, because I know this is where the people are starting to panic. And I need to be here to help the ladies not panic. So you guys have an awesome day. Okay, we'll talk soon. All right, bye.